Good morning. Oh, Facebook have changed their settings for Facebook Lives. Good morning. It's Rebecca Thompson here. And for those of you that don't know me, I help women to awaken the power of the feminine in a way that is tangible, in a way that is practical, in a way that creates positive change in their lives, physically, emotionally, in their business, in relationships, on every level. And I wanted to share with you today, before I start my yoga class here this morning, a common mistake that I see and I hear in the language around awakening the power of the feminine. Because as you may already understand and know, like the aspects of the feminine is creativity, it's flow, it's tapping into deep feeling and sensitivity, it's listening to those divine impulses, is bringing that into creation. But here's where I see things sometimes going wrong, is that if we allow ourselves only to tune into how do I feel in this moment and follow that feeling impulse, then we are doing ourselves a disservice. We are not balancing out the energies of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and we are also perhaps only just training one part of ourselves. And when we train one part of ourselves, we're actually not training that part fully. Let me explain. If you tap into your feeling centers, unless you have been trained to do this in a way that also trains your discrimination and your ability to have awareness of your shadows and thus what is actually true for you in that moment rather than just what you feel, then you can be misguiding yourself. So for example, if I'm sitting here and I'm feeling low energy, right? I'm feeling a little low energy and I drop in and I feel, yeah, my energy is low. So I'm just going to give myself some little space to do some restorative work and see if I can pick my energy back up again. All right. If we only tune into that, we are missing, a big part of the picture. We need to look at what is really going on in that moment. Perhaps, why am I feeling a little tired right now? What's underneath that initial feeling? What else is happening in my day? Am I being asked in that moment to step up? Maybe I have something to do. Maybe I have some planning to do for my business or a conversation that I need to have with someone and I'm feeling tired. Because so much of how we are feeling is actually a mirror of some resistance that can be coming up in our world about something that we may or may not want to do. And if we are not fully aware, if we haven't trained our awareness, if we haven't trained our mind, if we haven't trained ourselves to work with our shadows, then we will allow resistance to bubble up as feeling and mistake that. This is how I feel, so I now need to caretake that feeling. Right? There starts to be lots of layers to this. It's not as simple as just dropping into my feeling and following that feeling impulse. We need to look more closely at what is actually going on right now. Am I in resistance to something? What might that be about? What's underneath that? What is the truth of that? And this is the power of a more kind of comprehensive and integral approach to your well-being, your health, your relationships, your business, your vitality, is looking at what is truth. And we can't just look at that from this is how I feel in this moment, you know. We need to drop into that. That's the first point. And we need to keep going underneath. And now what is underneath that feeling? And then we need to put that in place, in the placement of what is happening in my life right now. If something's happening, is that tiredness or resistance to what may need to happen? So this is this sort of balance of being easy on yourself and being tough on yourself. Being so present that there is no right or wrong in what's going on with you. So there's no guilt, no blame, but there's sitting back and being able to look at what you are feeling and discern, what is that really about? Do I actually need to, like in my example, if you're feeling tired, do I actually need to rest over a bolster or put my legs up the wall or whatever it is that you might do to rest and restore and care for yourself? Or am I actually just giving in to something because I'm not seeing underneath the shadow of I'm scared to step up in this moment and do that thing, or I'm afraid of conflict if I have that conversation? And so when we have those kind of shadows playing out, or I'm scared of embracing my power, my awesomeness by getting up and speaking and answering that call or doing this Facebook Live, if we are not aware of those shadows, if we don't go deep enough, then we are not really growing. We're just giving in to our ego feeling, right? A superficial feeling, rather than going deeper into what is actually going on in this moment. And then you have something to work with. I'm feeling really tired right now. I'm feeling a little shaky right now. And instead of going to that restorative, and because you're noticing, but underneath that, I'm realizing that I'm actually can feel a lot of fear around stepping up and speaking, for example, or doing this Facebook Live. So now I have that to work with. Now it's the fear. Right, now in this moment, what might I need to do or feel or take care of that fear? Right, and when we can actually see the truth, then we have a way through. So it's being tough on ourselves to really drill down into what is happening, rather than just that superficial feeling. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. You know, when we're awakening the path of the feminine, we're awakening this incredible capacity within us. We just have to be careful not to go too easy on ourselves and too in the flow, or we will end up in the fire, as I've often said. And it's about balancing, you know, the masculine energies of structure and linear path and routine, as well as this sort of flow. It's balancing the two. Yeah, so be tough and be easy on yourself today, and that is where the path, the clear path forward is to all that you may have dreams for yourself and even more. Yeah. Have a beautiful day, everyone. It's time for me to go and set up class. If you're just jumping on now, you'll be able to watch the replay. Take care, everyone.